Hi, welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you a book haul. Last year I was like, this is going to be the year of no book hauls. And this year I was like, this is going to be the year of no book hauls. And I've made it to February, but unfortunately over the month I have accumulated a small stack here. And I'm going to share with you because I like hauls like this as well. I get idea of books, which is why I have a problem to begin with. But some of these, I really do think that they'll interest you, and I'll kind of explain why I have them. So first of all, I'm going to share these two books. These are First and Second True Stories of World War. I knew my son would like them. They were $2.49 at our secondhand store, which means they were $1.25. And so I picked them up for him. They are a Osborne, like biography, scholastic type thing. And yeah, he's going to love those. On that trip, I found Silas Marner for $3.99. Silas Marner is one of my favorite classics. I think I first listened to it. It was one of the first audiobooks I had when I was pregnant with my eldest. And I just fell in love with Silas. He basically gets blamed for robbing something, and so he's kind of an outcast. And then he starts taking care of Eppie. I don't know her other name. I only know of Eppie. And Eppie kind of stumbles into Silas's home and kind of softens his hardened heart. And the mother died. It's a little bit Les Miserables in that sense, but I wanted to read it again. And this one was actually reprinted by Becca, which I'm hoping that means it's unabridged. It was by George Eliot, if that means anything to you. Silas Marner wasn't a really big book to begin with, but anyway. So it was $3.99, but half off for me because I had credit was $2. I think that was all from the secondhand store. I think I did purchase one other book. I found Little Lord Fauntleroy, and I picked that up because that is actually one of my favorite by Frances Hodgson Burnett, who wrote Secret Garden and Little Princess, Little Lord Fauntleroy, which I don't even know if I'm saying that right, to be honest, because that's just how I had it in my head. And I remember looking at the title one day and thinking that's not right. But it just, you know, those childhood memories. Okay, then the stacks that I have here, what made me purchase them over renting them from the library were a couple of criteria. One, some of these books I could not get through my library system, or I knew that I would want to read them again and again. I feel like I am missing a book. Where did that book go? Where did I put it? Maybe we'll get to it as we go through the stack here. But if not, I'll try to tell you the title of that. I'm just going to go from the top. Most of these I think were purchased secondhand. I only have one or two of these that were purchased brand new. When I was trying to find one of my blog posts on Google, because that's how I look for things that I've written, I stumbled across this book. And I just had to read it. I mean, yeah. So I know nothing about it. It was literally just bought sight unseen. And I can't wait to read this. This is kind of one of my favorite time periods anyway, so not a problem. One of the books that we're going to, this was purchased new, one of the books that we're going to be doing this year for our read alouds was The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. It was suggested to me that I get the children's version. I have the adult version. This is the children's, the young readers edition of that book, and so I ended up getting it, and so I'll be trying to kind of compare the two. The reason I did not check this out from the library is I knew we would probably not finish it within 6 weeks, which is I can renew it once, maybe renew it twice, but sometimes at that point, 9 weeks, you're kind of playing it was just easier to purchase it. Let me just boil it down to that. Okay, the other book that I purchased was Antonia Fraser, Faith and Treason, the story of the gunpowder plot. I actually came across this book when I was trying to get a link for the other book that I reviewed last month, and I have shared all over Instagram, which I think was just gunpowder plot or something to that effect, the kids' version of the gunpowder. And I have a son that was born the 5th of November, and through that we kind of just fell in love with the story of Guy Fawkes Night, which sounds weird. Like, why would we fall in love with this? But I kind of want to read it, and I want to know more details about it. I don't know. It fascinates me. And I could not get it through my library. This one is Eleanor Park. I've heard so many good things, and I could not get this one through my library, and I don't know why I purchased it now rather than keep it on in my TBR until I did find it, to be honest. It might have just been when I had made a thrift book order. I needed something else because you can tell that I took the thrift book sticker off and it kind of ruined my book. So I might have just needed something else to complete a free shipping. And if I pay $3 and save $6 in shipping, I still have saved $3. So that might have been why I got that one. But I've heard many good things about it, and that's all I can tell you. This one, again, I heard really good things about, and it looked like a kind of time period that I've been looking for to kind of get ahead of some of our history curriculum. And I think my sister is really going to enjoy this if this is a clean book that I'm hoping for. This is 7th century Britain, so this is more medieval times. The king's youngest niece, and she has a niece, and she has a glimmering mind and a natural noble authority. She will become a fascinating woman and one of the pivotal figures in the Middle Ages, Saint Hilda of Whitby. So it's kind of based on a true person, if I remember correctly. I don't remember how I heard of this, to be honest. I just remember thinking it's based on a true figure and something for this time period for my upper years, and so I really wanted to read that. I've heard nothing but good about this book, so I kind of took a leap of faith and just decided to put it on our shelves. It is by the author of War Horse, which we absolutely adored. So this one, I believe, is World War II, a zoo. Yeah, something to do with the zoo in World War II. That's all I can tell you. But a review will be coming soon because I'm trying to go through all of my children's books. So I have that one. I have had this one in my TBR forever, and it just seems like the appropriate time to pick it up and read it. I remember my mom having this book years ago, and that's pretty much all I can tell you. I read another book recently about raising a large family, and I wasn't that impressed, and I don't even remember what it is. So we'll see how this one kind of goes along with that. From Amazon, I got, this was actually an idea that I had from Elizabeth over at Beautiful Journey. She said she found one of these audiobooks of Narnia on eBay for $15 or $20. I don't remember. And I did go on eBay, but I didn't see that. But it led me to Amazon, which I found this one for $20 shipped. And all the CDs look clean. It's in good condition. The box is a little worn. But I picked this up because I'm kind of starting to hoard some audiobooks. It's kind of building that library up. Okay, so the next one I have from you actually had to come from England because we couldn't get it here in the States. And the gal that wrote The Gunpowder Plot, or whatever we call it, Ali Sherrick, she wrote another book, The Buried Crown. And this is World War II and Britain is on the brink of invasion. Londoner George has been sent to live on the countryside, but he's very far from safe. A priceless Anglo-Saxon crown has been unearthed, and George is plunged into danger. It seems it's up to him and Kitty, the granddaughter of a Jewish archaeologist, to protect the crown from Nazi invaders before it's too late. So, yeah, I really do like her style. We'll see. We'll see if this one is just as good as the Gunpowder Plot, but I really have high expectations for that. Another book that I have here is Glory of the Seas. If I remember correctly, when I was doing my really big blog post with a bunch, or my big blog post of like these Newbery winners that I think you should read, and some that didn't think they had any wealth or value to them, I'll leave that blog post link down below. There was like 7 hours of work into that. And what I did was I went to the Newbery site and I looked at each title. And man, there are some titles that I had never heard before, I'd never seen. And I believe this is one of them. And this actually has to do with the San Francisco port and the ships and the changing of time during that era. And like, this is in really good condition. I am very, very impressed because I think they just called it good, but I would say this is in very good condition. Maybe I just have lower standards or expectations. So anyway, this was published 1933, and the reconstruction of the Great Republic made her famous run from New York to San Francisco in 1857 in 92 days, as predicted by Maury. I have used that voyage for her maiden voyage of 1855, so 2 years earlier, which was from New York to Liverpool. The ability of Matthew Fontaine Maury to forecast the movements of vessels to predetermine their position is witnessed by the record of his service in locating for the government in December 1853. The disabled troop ship San Francisco drifted helplessly 300 miles off Sandy Hook. So actually, maybe it's not about the port. Interesting. It looks like there's a slave on the cover there. So anyway, I just remember seeing the some of these titles and then looking up and trying to read what they're about. Just this one had some really good reviews, so I wanted to read that. I actually saw a picture of this on Instagram and I was mind blown. I didn't ever think to look for anything else that Sir Conan Doyle had written. We love Sherlock, and he's the author of Sherlock. Like, that is embedded in my mind. And so I saw this on Instagram and I immediately went, I think it was Thrift Books, I'm pretty sure I went to Thrift Books and found a beautiful copy. And of course I needed one that was illustrated by one of my favorite illustrators, N.C. Wyeth. And this is in amazing condition. I am just floored that I never knew about this book. I have a lot to go. I have a long ways to go. But I can't wait to see what this is about. I mean, medieval by the author of Sherlock Holmes. I can only imagine what this is going to be like. And I think my invoices fell out. So let me see what this is about. It looks like medieval times. Oh, of course, we're going to have a love story. What book wouldn't be a book without a love story? So Sir Arthur Conan Doyle is best known as the creator of Sherlock Holmes, but his favorite of all of his books was this sweeping historical adventure set in the Middle Ages. When young Alan Edrickson sets out into the world, he has no idea of the exciting adventures he will have. It is 1366 and England is at war with Spain. Alan becomes a squire to Sir Nigel Loring and journeys to France to join the White Company, a bold band of archers. On the way, he is involved in jousts, a skirmish with vicious pirates, a daring rescue from a besieged castle, a fierce battle in which Alan risks death to save Sir Nigel and the company from defeat. Written by one of the world's most beloved authors and illustrated by one of our most distinguished authors, The White Company brings to life a medieval world of chivalry and stirring adventures that will delight readers of all ages. Now, I have one other book that I did pick up. I literally have no idea where I set that book down. I picked it up to put in the stack. I don't know where it is. But it's me, my daughter, and our Anne of Green Gables book club. I'll put the title right here. Like, it's a long title. And it is a memoir, biography type of thing of this woman and her daughter just kind of bonding over Anne of Green Gables. So I wanted to read that, and I cannot get it through my library. So that's the book haul. I hope you enjoyed this video. Are any of these books ones that you have read or interested in reading? Again, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it this time. And it's always hesitating. I always hesitate to click on books like, or videos like this, because I'm like, I'm going to walk away with a whole list of things that I really don't need but want to have. So if that was you, I'm sorry. But I mean, this alone had to be worth it, right? I can't be the only one. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.